Hey, hi, how are you? Happy New Year's Eve. I tried to record this video before and it did not work out so well. So we're gonna try again while I do my nails. These are from Suntan Sun State Nails, not Suntan, Sun State Nails. I'm hoping that I really like them. It's a small independent shop that I found via Instagram. This is not a sponsored video, but you know, maybe if I like them, maybe I can partner with them in the future for a sponsored video. But you guys that have been here before, you know I love to do my nails and I love nail wraps. And so here we go. So this is going to be a chatty story time type video as well as a 2020 review / 2021 goals video for what I want from this channel, what I want from my business, and how we're going to go along the way with one another. So, with that, I have to take my old nail polish off. So, we will start with a 2020 in review. Now, I've done a video, I think it's posted on here, about my goals and how I set them and how that has really made a difference this year in 2020, because even while all the craziness was going on, I still managed to meet most of my goals. I still managed to get a lot of what I wanted to accomplish accomplished. Or when I did my 6-month reevaluation this summer, I was able to change them and see what was realistic and what wasn't. And so I will actually be doing a training for those that are in my membership or who are my one-on-one clients. We're going to work in depth on setting practical goals, setting up an action plan, and then looking forward to that 6-month adjustment mark. So if you are a mom and you deal with chronic illness, or even if you're just a mom and you're like, I want to be around other moms working on their creative projects, then maybe let's chat, and maybe Soul Cadence Village or my Crash Creative Coaching is for you. But anyway, that's coming up. And something I've learned this year is that we might have an idea of what we think we want out of life. We might have an idea of how we think things should go, but we have to remember that so many things are out of our control. I don't think there's a single person among us that didn't learn that this year. And some of us, unfortunately, had that lesson beat us over the head this year. So, with that, I still managed to shift my business, which is what I started at the beginning of the year before any of the stuff started. And then I managed to continue that build, continue to grow and learn and connect with others. And so in that, I really managed to get some clarity on what it is that I'm doing, because for me, let me fix this. Sorry about that. Okay. I watch a lot of YouTube. And a lot of what I watch on here is I watch a lot of authors. I watch some true crime, but I watch a lot of authors. I watch a lot of a few business people. But what I've noticed is there's this thing going on where people are tearing others down. And then there are some people that are really trying to make a difference in certain aspects. And so I'll talk to you about why I run my business the way I do. And you guys can make your decisions about me based on what you hear. So 2020, I managed to reach a lot of my goals or change them and alter them so that going into 2021, I am better set up for success. And so um, with that is the take that off. I'm going to see if this will work. These are new nail strips for me, and so I am really hopeful that I enjoy them, because if I do, I will definitely be sharing more from this company because they have so many cute things that I really like. So let's look forward to 2021. So I managed to meet a lot of my goals in 2020, and I managed to um, set myself up, like I said, for what I'm thinking will be a successful 2021 year. Now, um, with that is going to be uh, some. I'm just gonna have to own some things. I'm going to have to own what I'm doing, what business I've started, and changes that I have made. Now, for those that don't necessarily know, I am as of this year, 2020, a retired marriage and family therapist. Um, so I did have a license. I let that go this year to be retired from that particular job. I'm not retired. I have a job. I run a business, but um, I saw that I could do better with what I was doing in a different way. So I have, as of a few years ago, I have training as a life coach. And so I have training as a therapist and training as a life coach. And so that's what we're not going to do this one. We're going to have to do a different one. So that's what I am doing. That's what Soul Cadence Coaching is all about. And with that, there is the okay. Yeah. With that, there is some, there's some stigma. There are people that don't like life coaches. There are people that don't like business coaches. There are people that don't like the coaching industry. And that's fine. And I get that. But here's the thing, we're here to stay. It is a growing industry, and some people do it unethically, and some people do it without a lot of training. I am not some people. And what's been really hard for me is feeling like I won't be accepted because of, people in the psychology field will be like, well, what did you do? Why did you leave? People in the coaching field, I don't know. But the fact is, coaching is here to stay, and it's actually a very viable way to help people if done correctly, if done ethically. And my goal is to be ethical in all that I do. And so, with that, I will continue what I'm doing in 2021. Um, and I am a coach for mamas with chronic illness who want to continue on with their creative dreams, but they are unsure of how to do that in light of their diagnosis. And there's some healing work that has to be done. And I come alongside my clients and I help them with that healing work. And I do this as a mom and a coach and as a retired therapist. Like, I have all of this going into this business. Now, my goal is not to take advantage of anybody. My goal is not to um, my goal is not to um, my goal is to do right by my clients. My goal is to help them enact real positive change and accept themselves and who they are. And my goal is to take what I know, what I've learned, what is absolutely possible for even moms who have chronic illness, and to take that and really help them grow into who they are, who they've been all along, despite this diagnosis. Now, this is not to downplay anyone's chronic illness, because I mean, I'm there with you guys. I have the doctor's visits, the unanswered um, questions, the test after test after test, and not knowing what the answer is, and not having the energy to be with my family the way that they would like, or that I would like, or not having the energy to be always on at my business, not even being able to work a real job, and still wanting to be creative, and still wanting to be a writer and a business owner and a mom. And what does that look like now that I have these diagnoses? And the fact is, that's going to change. Our dreams are just going to look different. So now that we're going into 2021, what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about those differences and how our dreams have to change? What are we going to do about that? And it's okay that they look different. It's okay that maybe you can't do as much as you could before. It's okay that everything looks a little different. It's okay that you feel different. Um, and I've learned this year that I don't need others' validation for what I'm doing. So I can be, I can use my training in a way that better suits me and the women that I work with, the women that I help. I can use my education and training in a way that matches what I'm trying to do for my clients. When I was working as a therapist, there is a lot of emphasis, which is changing, and I think it's great that it's changing, and it might impact my decision to one day go back. I mean, when we move, I have to get my license all over again anyway, so it doesn't really matter because we're moving in a couple months, and my license is not transferable state to state. That's a whole big thing. So there's a huge possibility I'm going to not retrain, but resit for my license, which means a whole new state's law and ethics exam. The state I'm moving to takes the national exam, which is what I took here at Oklahoma. So that part's done, but I also have to have more supervised hours. So even though I worked for over a year on my own, after passing supervision and all that, my paperwork, it will have to be, I'll just have to do it again. That's what I'm trying to say. There's more exams that I will have to take, because just like the bar, you have to take state to state. This exam, you have to take the law and ethics exam, you have to take state and state, because you have to know your state's laws. So that's where that comes in. And then I will have to do some extra work. So there's a big likelihood that I will renew my license in my new state. But for now, this is where we are. And I do have training as a I do have training as a coach. I have that training as well, along with my master's in counseling and my license of marriage and family therapy. So everyone always talks about how like people don't know what they're doing, they're not trained for this, they're taking advantage of people, but that's just not the way that this field works. Some people are, yes, but you know what? There are some therapists out there doing that. There are some doctors out there doing that. There are scummy people in every um, career, in every occupation. There are people that just take advantage of people. So as we're looking forward into 2021, what I will be doing is I will be getting more one-on-one clients who are moms struggling with chronic illness, but still wanting to follow their dreams, live out their dreams in a new way, whether it be in a creative way, whether that's writing, having some kind of art or craft career, or starting a YouTube channel, or a podcast, whatever creative business or ministry or hobby, but they are not sure how to do it because they now have this diagnosis. They have all these tests that they have to go through. They have to go to the doctors often. They are tired. They're exhausted. They're still trying to figure out the right med combinations. And if you don't live with chronic illness, you don't know what that does to a person. You don't know how that changes what your plans are, how you interact with the world, how you interact with the dreams you had before, how it changes motherhood as you thought you knew it. Only those of us that are in that kind of understand how that is. Those of us who have chronic or ongoing illnesses. And so I work with those moms to help them realize that they don't have to give up on everything. Motherhood will look different. Our dreams will look different. How we approach everything will look different. And that's okay. So, another thing that will be happening in 2021 is I will be publishing several books next year, and I'm really excited about it. Part of the reason this year slowed down with the publishing is because, again, I've been listening to these negative voices that say there's only one right way to help people. There's only one right way to have an author career. I have been too caught up in those negative voices, and I've been holding back on some things. So I have claimed my identity as an author. I am a mystery author, a psychological fiction author, and a nonfiction author. That's what I do. Anyone who knows my books knows that there's already a young adult psychological realistic fiction novel out there, and some devotionals as well. And so that's just going to continue. I have um, a nonfiction book in the works that goes along with what I coach and how I work with my clients. And I want it to be helpful to women in all stages that have chronic illness. And so that's in the works. It is supposed to come out in mid-January. We will see if that happens. Tomorrow, I will actually be setting up everything so that it just gets all that stuff started so that it can premiere in January. Um, so yeah, usually partway through, I tell you guys how I like my nails. So far, I am loving these. Um, and they look great. I love this color. They look really good so far, if you can see. And I love that they're nail strips, so they're already dry. I don't have to worry about that. And they fit my nails really well. So I've got 2 more nails on each hand to do. So we'll do those and then I'll have a good manicure. I love having a good manicure. Okay. And these are way more affordable than Color Street, which if you've been around for a while, you know that I love Color Street. And I use them despite the fact that they are pricey, but these are much more affordable and they actually feel like even better quality than Color Street. I have to say, I will let you know in an update video how I feel, but right now, these are a winner. Sun State Nails, you have winners on your hands and I love them. So, okay, so in mid-February, I think the first, I don't have my release calendar here with me, but I think in the first week of February or the second week, one of those two, is when my cozy mystery releases. So when I coach moms in creative business or ministry or hobbies, it's not because I don't have those things along with my chronic illness, because I do. I am an author. I am published. I create videos, obviously, because you're watching this one right now. I do I do have my blog that I do. Um, so I have that creative part of me. Um, and so I do have and my husband and I are working on our church plant. So even the ministry side of things, like I, it is something that I have experience in. It's something I'm not doing this out of a place of, hey, I don't know I don't know about these things that I'm coaching moms on. I am a mom of 2. I run my own business. I am an author. My husband and I are planning a church. And I am a mom with chronic illness. So, one thing about therapy that that never sat well with me was we are supposed to be um, removed from what's going on. So, we are supposed to be impartial, which is great. I want to be impartial. I want to just sit with someone while they're having their bad days. I loved that part of being a therapist. What I didn't love was this idea that we had to carefully consider what we would or wouldn't share with our clients. Like how I think this is why I liked working with teenagers so much, because I felt more open to share with them. Even with the students that I teach now, I feel more open. Oh, that's another thing. Part of my business, I run a creative education business. Part of my business is that I do teach a lot of my skills, a lot of the leadership and social skills that I taught in private practice as well as in public schools. I teach online now to teenagers, and teenagers are my favorite, but teenagers have this ability to let you be open with who you were, with what your struggles were, and they relate to that. They learn from you. They accept that. So that's something that I also appreciate working with the mothers that I work with, is that I get to just be real and raw and honest, and I don't have to like pretend that everything is always perfect, because the fact is, even for the best therapist in the world, it's not always perfect. I don't know if any of y'all ever watched Frasier. That dude's life was falling apart every week. And still, he helped people on the radio. Niles, his brother, had private practice clients. His life is falling apart the whole time too. The fact is, and I'm going to ruin therapy for a lot of people, the fact is your therapist has their own crap, okay? They do. That's why we as therapists see other therapists. We do our crap and work through our crap so that you can work through yours. That's how it works, okay? If you go to a therapist who's never been to a therapist, run, okay? Because that's just not how it works. If you go to a therapist that has it all together, but how are you supposed to know? Because we are trained not to show you that. We're trained not to use our own life as an example. Now, Fraser didn't do a great job of that because he was using his own life as an example every other caller on the radio show. But that's TV, that's not real life. So that is the thing that I say is changing thanks to things like Instagram, TikTok. We get to be more open and honest, and our clients get to see that. But what I found was that I could be more effective if I could come from a place of more honesty and vulnerability. And that's where coaching comes in. That's where being a coach came into the equation. And it works really well because I get to still get in the dirt, in the mud, in the muck, in the hard times with my clients. I still get to help them. I still get to show them these skills that I've learned, these skills that help them grow past where they are and become who they want to be. I still get to work with them in healing, and it's fantastic. And so that brings me to another thing. I've learned a lot about myself this year in 2020, but I've also learned that I have to be bold. I have to be courageous, and I have to be willing to do this the way that I think is right. And for me, that answers a huge question that people ask sometimes is why do I not often show my children? You will never see them here on this channel unless they crash a video and then my husband takes them out. Looking good. You will never, I will rarely say their names. I will rarely do any of that. I'm very careful about which pictures I put up on Instagram of them and how much and how often. And that is true even of my personal account, not just my business account. And the reason for that is they're too young. I can be honest as a mom without showing them to you. I can be honest as a mom without telling you every single detail of their lives. You don't need, no one needs to know when they're potty training. No one needs to know when they start puberty. No one needs to know when they start other life changes. No one needs to know that until they're old enough to share those stories themselves. So I'm very careful about that. And why? Because this is my business. I chose to be a business owner. I chose to be a business owner who utilizes YouTube, Facebook, Instagram to share my story, to connect with clients, to grow my platform as an author. I chose to be an author. My husband and I chose to be in ministry. My children did not make that choice. We were blessed with our children and I love them, but they didn't make this choice. I did. All right. They look fan-freaking-tastic. Sun State Nails. You are a winner. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this color so much. And look, I didn't get it all over me like I did the black nails at my sister's wedding. They just look so good. I love them. I can't wait to order more. So you'll see more Sun State nails in future videos. This one is not sponsored, but maybe a future one will be. We'll see. But either way, I will be ordering more of them so that I can have the perfect manicure often because I love manicures and I love doing my nails. You guys know this. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I love having my nails done and doing my nails, and it's a way of self-care. So, one thing that will not change in 2021 is you won't see my children here on this channel. You won't see them in my Facebook lives. You won't see them like that. And I will still be very careful about what I show on Instagram of my kids and what I say about them because I chose this. They did not. And the world doesn't need to know. If you think you need to see my children in every video to believe that I'm a mom, well, then you need to go find something else to watch or something else to do or something else to fill your time with because that's crazy. Another thing, I want the women that I work with to realize, to be able to accept within themselves or to be able to celebrate within themselves that we are more than just moms. We are moms for the rest of our lives, but we are actively in our children's lives until they decide to leave, until they grow up. Then our part is mostly over. I mean, we still connect with our parents or what have you, but so many people make motherhood their sole identity. But what happens when our kids reach 18? For those of us with chronic illness, it means now we have new ways we have to cope because now we can't just focus on caring for our children. And we are now older. And what are we building for ourselves for when that day comes? So if you feel like as a mom, I have to show you my kids every second of the day, you are not in the right place. And I am not the person for you because we're not for everybody. So I will not be using my children in that way. They will not be here on YouTube. They will be very carefully, if at all, on. Well, they will. I mean, I put them on because I love my kids and they're a part of my life, and I work from home. But they're not going to be my money makers. They're not going to be what I create content around. I create content around womanhood and chronic illness and motherhood. And as a coach, as a former therapist, I can't condone anyone using their children in a way that strips that child of their innocence, their childhood and their right to their lives pre-internet. So, harsh words, I know, and I'm not going to apologize for them, but there they are. So, looking forward in 2021, more goal setting, just like I did in 2020. And again, I am doing a coaching for that inside the Soul Cadence Village membership. Any of my one-on-one clients will have access to that, and any of my membership clients will have access to that. No one else will. And I will be giving them all of the tools that I use to set goals that have helped me have one of the best years I've ever had in 2020. Despite American politics, despite world events, despite what's been going on, 2020 has been incredible business wise. It's been incredible growth wise. And I've even learned where my strength of character comes from and how to do it despite chronic illness. Because this year I was diagnosed with a new chronic illness. My migraine illness went sideways and long ways and all the ways, and we still don't know what's going on with that. So on top of the chronic illnesses I've had for years, new ones developed after having my second baby this year. And I have learned that that doesn't have to hold me back. It just has to adjust. So some people out there are like, but I can't do anything. Well, but it's possible. I worked for 6 months from my bed. It's possible. So my goal for 2021 is to keep goal setting like I did this year because it worked like gangbusters. Give my clients all the tools to do that for themselves and set up their personalized plans going into 2021. It's also to publish several books. I have one coming in January, hopefully, one definitely coming in February, and then more to follow. I think I'm on deck for 4 books next year. We'll see how that goes. And so continuing on that path and just growing my creative education business despite the chronic illness, despite having a family, despite a big move we're going to be making in March, despite um, everything, showing that moms can still do this. And this diagnosis doesn't change anything. It doesn't change my worth or my value. It doesn't stop my life even as a mom, and it doesn't make me a failure as a mom, and neither does yours. Your chronic illness, your diagnosis, your mental illness, that doesn't mean that you are any less of a mother. It doesn't mean that you can't have a fulfilled life. It doesn't mean that you have to be relegated to the quiet places to the back, even though the world might tell you it does. So my hope for 2021 is that we see more voices rise up, more voices that say, let's allow disabled people to be part of the conversation. Let's allow mentally ill people to be part of the conversation. Let's open this up. Let's blow this wide open and show that people are valuable no matter what is going on in their lives. Their illness, their label, their diagnosis, their disability does not preclude them from from being a part of the world. It offers this beautiful diversity in the world, and I want these moms to feel like they have a place and they can work through healing, and that's what it's all about. So with that, I hope to see more of you in 2021. I know this was a bit rambly. I didn't take notes for this one. There were so many thoughts going on in my head for the end of this year. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. But watching people who seem to criticize what I do, not me directly, okay, the field that I work in, um, made me realize where I stand on some things and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that I'm going to keep doing it. And it's okay if they don't think it's valid, or if they think it's ridiculous, or if they think whatever they think. But also, watching some of those voices helped me realize that, yeah, I don't want to be putting my kids out there for everyone to see. Yeah, I'm a mom and I work with moms, and that's great, but you don't have to see every moment of my kids' lives for that. You don't. Because as a parent, there's more to us than that. As a mom, there's more to you than that. Also, you're more than your chronic illness, your ongoing health issues, your mental illness, your chronic health concerns. You're more than all of that. You're more than the labels, and you can have a fulfilled life. And so can I. I have the training and the education, but for some reason it didn't seem like enough. But as we're closing out 2020, I realize it's more than enough. The path that I've walked, what I'm doing is more than enough. And the fact that I'm affordable, people in the coaching industry say you have to set certain standards, otherwise people aren't going to take you seriously. Well, then I'll see where it goes. I will set affordable prices. I will set payment plans. I have a membership to be more wallet friendly, and a premium offer to be a little more in depth and one-on-one, but I will be genuine and authentic, and I will do it in a way that is accessible and flexible and affordable. And if that's not what the rest of the gurus want, if that's what they say doesn't work, then oh well. If it doesn't work, then I adjust. But this is what we're doing. It is enough. It is enough. And in 2021, we're all just going to survive and be enough together. Don't worry about thriving if that's not where you're at. It's fine. Sometimes we can't thrive. Sometimes surviving and being enough is perfect. And that's what I'm going to focus on in 2021. Usually I pick one word. This year I'm picking two words: enough and survive. That's it. And that's where my clients will be. If I can be enough and if I can survive, that's a fulfilled life. That's an abundant life. And that's what I work with my clients for. So that's my 2020 look back and my 2021 look forward. If you want to work with me, I would love to. There is a free resource library you can access in a link below. And you can also get on my calendar. That will be linked below. If you just want to check out more videos, look around, see what I'm all about, please do so. And I do hope and really look forward to seeing what 2021 does for all of us. So, with that, bye, friends. Also, I'm going to leave their Etsy shop below because, like, awesome. Sun State Nails, awesome. So, check that below too. Go check out what they have in store, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, friends.